viewers, I'm your host Pratiksha Mishra with another episode of South Asia Focus. Let's begin the show. India and Russia continue to strengthen their defense partnership, underscoring a long-standing and strategic relationship built on mutual trust and cooperation. Recent high-level meetings, including the 21st session of the India-Russia Intergovernmental Commission, have focused on expanding military collaboration and bolstering defense industries. The commissioning of INS Tushil, India's new stealth-guided missile frigate, highlights their growing maritime cooperation. As the partnership deepens, India has also urged Russia to open its economy for broader trade ties. Take a look.
India and Russia's defense partnership continues to evolve, rooted in a deep and enduring relationship built on trust, respect, and strategic cooperation. Over the years, despite political shifts and changing global dynamics, the bilateral defense ties between the two nations have remained a cornerstone of India's foreign policy. As India navigates its growing relationships with Western allies, particularly the United States, its long-standing engagement with Russia remains vital, especially in the realm of defense and military cooperation. Recently, Indian Defense Minister Rajnath Singh met with Russian President Vladimir Putin in Moscow during the 21st session of the India-Russia Intergovernmental Commission on Military and Military Technical Cooperation. This meeting highlighted the strength and potential of the strategic partnership between the two countries, focusing on expanding military collaboration and strengthening their defense industries. Singh, co-chairing the session with Russian Defense Minister Andrei Balochistan, emphasized the positive momentum from recent high-level exchanges, including two visits by Indian Prime Minister Narendra Modi to Russia in 2024. Singh also invited Russian industries to participate in India's Make in India initiatives, aiming to build a more self-reliant and robust defense industry. On the other side, Belousov affirmed the enduring friendship and mutual trust between the two nations' leaders as key to strengthening their bilateral ties.
Удовлетворены хорошим уровнем взаимодействия России и Индии по военной линии в многосторонних форматах. Убежден, что наша встреча будет способствовать дальнейшему укреплению российско-индийских отношений в области обороны и безопасности.
A key highlight of the defense cooperation was the commissioning of the INS Tushil F-70, India's latest multi-role stealth-guided missile frigate, at the Yantar shipyard in Russia's Kaliningrad city. Rajnath Singh attended the ceremony and described the commissioning as a powerful symbol of India's growing maritime capabilities and a testament to the long-standing defense partnership between the two nations. Alongside defense cooperation, the economic dimension of the India-Russia relationship continues to expand. India's External Affairs Minister S. Jaishankar recently stressed the need for Russia to open its economy further to facilitate greater trade. With India increasing its imports of Russian oil, Jaishankar highlighted the need for a more robust trade partnership, with India positioning itself as a reliable, long-term customer.
We are pressing Russian leadership very strongly, saying, look, we are buying so many things and we are buying it, we are good customers, we are long-term customers. So good customer, also has a right. Okay, all of you know that in business, you have to look after your customers as well. So we also need, a better access to the Russian economy.
As both nations strengthen their ties, Russian President Vladimir Putin is expected to visit India early next year, his first trip since the war in Ukraine began. This visit promises to be another step in reinforcing the strategic partnership between the two countries, with defense and security high on agenda. This ongoing collaboration underscores the resilience and adaptability of the India-Russia relationship, proving that despite the changing geopolitical landscape, both countries remain committed to their long-standing strategic ties.
On World Human Rights Day, the Baloch Yakjeti Committee brought global attention to the ongoing war crimes in Balochistan with a powerful documentary, urging the world to recognize the suffering of the Baloch people. In tandem with the documentary, peace walks were held across the region to amplify the call for justice, dignity and rights. Activists like Mehrang Baloch are at the forefront, tirelessly advocating for the Baloch cause, urging the international community to take action against the systematic operation in Pakistan's largest and most impoverished province. A report.
Every year on December 10th, the world commemorates Human Rights Day, a day to reflect on the progress made and the challenges that remain.
On World's Human Rights Day, the Baloch Yakjeti Committee, an organization dedicated to advocating for the rights of the Baloch people, released a powerful documentary report shedding light on the ongoing war crimes in Pakistan's largest and most impoverished province. The report urged viewers to watch, share and stand in solidarity with the fight for human rights, emphasizing the importance of raising awareness and supporting justice for all people everywhere. Moreover, on World's Human Rights Day, the Baloch Yakjeti Committee organized peace walks in different parts of Balochistan to amplify the call for dignity, rights and justice for the Baloch people. These events aim to raise awareness and strengthen the movement for human rights and equality. Human rights organizations and advocacy groups in Balochistan are working tirelessly to make the world hear the voices of their suffering. Activists like Mehrang Baloch have been persistently using every platform available to garner global support, striving to give the Baloch people the strength they need to break the shackles of violence, slavery and discrimination.
I am Mehrang Baloch. I offer my sincere gratitude to the compassionate people all around the world. In dark times, the miracle that saves the world to act, and in this critical moment, we must not opt for a better future, but to act courageously against all oppression for a future where Baloch can live with peace. Let me remind you, this is the time to act. Don't let Baloch people to fight this systemic oppression alone.
In the harsh landscapes of Balochistan, many families live with deep sadness, trapped in a silence that haunts them. For years, the cries of those who have disappeared without a trace have filled the air as sons, fathers, brothers, and husbands vanish, leaving the families in a constant state of worry and fear. But these families refuse to stay quiet. They have taken to the streets, turning their grief into a powerful demand for answers. Holding placards that speak of their love, pain and search for the truth, they march through their broken lands, their voices loud and clear. Where are they? The placards shout, each one a desperate plea for the return of their loved ones taken by unknown forces. These protests are not just about the missing, but about dignity, the right to know what happened, and the truth that has been hidden for too long.
I am in pain right now to share that my brother Duda Hilai and his friends Mehraj Shad, Gamshad Baloch, Muzammil Baloch and Ismail Ibrahim were forcibly disappeared from Karachi last night. I respectfully request your support in demanding their safe return and justice. Tomorrow we will be launching a campaign to raise awareness about their disappearance and urge for their release. Kindly join us.
With every march and every sign raised, there's still hope that one day the silence will end and the truth will finally come to light. However, this hope is rarely fulfilled. The families of the disappeared continue to face a relentless battle against a system that remains largely indifferent to their cries. The Pakistan military and intelligence agencies are widely accused of being involved in the forced abductions of Baloch youths, targeting those who are seen as descendants or threats to the state's control over the region. These young men, often activists, students, or individuals simply vocal in their support for Balochistan's autonomy, are taken in the dead of night, their whereabouts unknown, leaving their families in an agonizing limbo.
Time now for Asia This Week, the stories from across the continent.
Iran's supreme leader Ayatollah Ali Khamenei claimed that Iran has proof indicating the overthrow of Syrian President Bashar al-Assad was part of a plot orchestrated by the US, Israel and unnamed neighboring country. In the event of Assad's removal, Iran's foreign ministry urged a national dialogue to establish a government that includes all factions of Syrian society. The Iranian government also called for the preservation of Syria's territorial integrity and stressed that Syrian people should be the ones to determine their own future. On December 11th, South Koreans held another protest against President Yoon Suk-yeol following his unsuccessful attempt to declare martial law the previous week. Organizers estimated that 50,000 people gathered near the National Assembly for the demonstration. The rally occurred after South Korean police attempted to search the presidential office, significantly intensifying the investigation into Yoon, senior police and military officials regarding the December 3rd martial law declaration, which had thrown the country into a constitutional crisis. US Defense Secretary Lloyd Austin visited Camp Asaka, a Japan-ground self-defense force base in Tokyo. During a meeting with his Japanese counterpart, General Nakatani, in Tokyo, Austin reiterated his country's ironclad commitment to deterring threats to Japan and South Korea, particularly in response to challenges posed by China in the East China Sea. Austin also held discussions with Japanese Prime Minister Shigeru Ishiba on Tuesday, focusing on regional matters.
The escalating violence against religious minorities in Bangladesh has triggered widespread international condemnation with urgent calls for action to protect these vulnerable communities. India, deeply concerned, has called on the interim government to take swift and decisive steps to ensure the safety of minorities. As tensions rise, India underscores that the future of bilateral cooperation between the two nations depends on Bangladesh's commitment to addressing these critical issues. Let's take a closer look at the situation.
The ongoing turmoil in Bangladesh has raised concerns about the country's trajectory under its interim government. Attacks on minority communities, including Hindus, Christians, and Buddhists, have drawn sharp criticism from human rights organizations. The desecration of cultural and religious sites has further strained the relationship between India and Bangladesh. For meaningful cooperation to continue, India has made it clear that Bangladesh must take immediate steps to protect minorities and address the rising tensions through dialogue and constructive measures. Recently, the foreign secretaries of India and Bangladesh met in Dhaka, marking the first such meeting since the ousting of former Prime Minister Sheikh Hasina in August. During the meeting, Indian Foreign Secretary Vikram Misri expressed concern over regrettable incidents of attacks on cultural and religious symbols, emphasizing that New Delhi expects a constructive approach from Dhaka to address these issues.
There is no reason why this mutually beneficial cooperation should not continue to deliver in the interests of both our peoples. And to that end, therefore, I have underlined today India's desire to work closely with the interim government of Bangladesh authorities. At the same time, we also had the opportunity to discuss certain recent developments and issues, and I conveyed our concerns, including those related to the safety and welfare of minorities. We also discussed some regrettable incidents of attacks on cultural, religious, and diplomatic properties. We expect overall a constructive approach on all these issues by the Bangladesh authorities, and we look forward to moving the relationship forward in a positive, forward-looking, and constructive direction.
The recent developments in Bangladesh have sparked outrage among the Hindu community worldwide, leading to widespread protests in countries where they have settled. In Toronto, Canada, a significant protest was staged outside the Bangladeshi consulate despite the harsh winter weather. Demonstrators, largely from the Hindu community, gathered to demand justice and better protection for Hindu and other minority groups in Bangladesh. The protesters raised powerful slogans and carried placards bearing messages against the current Bangladeshi government. The demonstration underscored the broader call for international action to address the rising tensions and violence faced by religious minorities in Bangladesh.
What's happening is in Bangladesh, they're genociding Hindus, they're assaulting our women, they're raping our children, they're doing whatever they can because the Hindus are in minority and they're trying to overrun the Hindu minorities. That's what they have done in Pakistan, they have done in Afghanistan, now they're trying to do in Bangladesh. We are here to support our brothers and sisters all over the world to unite and show our concern.
The Bangladeshi government's failure to protect its minority communities, particularly Hindus, Christians and Buddhists, is a reflection of a deepening intolerance that threatens the nation's future. With increasing reports of violence, discrimination and the destruction of sacred sites, critics accuse the government of allowing an atmosphere of persecution to thrive unchecked. While India's diplomatic efforts continue to push for a constructive resolution, the road to peace seems uncertain. Until Bangladesh's government takes concrete steps to stop the violence and protect its minorities, it remains to be seen whether relations between Bangladesh and its neighbors, as well as the global community, can ever fully recover.
The Taliban's latest decree bans women from attending nursing and midwifery institutes, further restricting educational opportunities for Afghan women. This comes amid a broader crackdown on women's rights, including a ban on women praying aloud or expressing themselves publicly. Since retaking power in 2021, the Taliban has imposed increasingly draconian measures, drawing global condemnation. Human rights group warn this escalation will deepen the suffering of Afghan women, echoing the oppressive policies of the 1990s. A report.
Once seen as a beacon of hope for Afghan women, nursing and midwifery programs have now become another casualty of the Taliban's oppressive regime. In a decree issued by the group's supreme leader, women are now barred from pursuing these essential healthcare professions. This decision has not only cut off an educational lifeline for women, but also threatens the country's already struggling healthcare system, leaving Afghan society more vulnerable than ever.
There have been a number of decisions that have come in recent weeks and months. One is that women will not be allowed to go out and engage even in nursing training programs, whether it is midwifery or care for people. And this is some of the, I think, one of the most empowering professions for anyone, because they are giving part of themselves, of their time, their labor for the welfare and the benefit of people outside. So this is severely constricting the right of women.
The Taliban's repression extends far beyond the realm of education, systematically dismantling women's rights and freedoms. Since assuming power on August 15, 2021, Afghanistan has faced growing concerns over human rights abuses targeting activists, former government employees, women and minorities. A recent UN report underscores the issuance of over 70 restrictive decrees by the Taliban. These include barring girls from education beyond primary school, prohibiting women from working in most professions, and restricting their access to public spaces such as parks and gyms. Increased police surveillance and harassment in public areas have further confined women, with 57% of Afghan women reporting they feel unsafe leaving their homes without a male guardian. The Taliban regime has now escalated its crackdown on women's freedoms. Recently, a new edict surfaced that forbids women from praying aloud, even in each other's presence. The justification? The Taliban claim that a woman's voice is aura, something to be concealed from public life.
They say that the voice of the woman should not be heard because the holy word of Quran should not be pronounced by them. That means it is not only they are being treated as second-class citizens, but they are being treated much worse than that. That means as far as the religion is concerned, it condemns them to a very, very low stature that even their voice cannot be heard. So I don't know whether any of this is written in the Quran, in the holy book or not, because it has not come to light earlier. This is only coming out of the Taliban.
This systematic erasure of women is not only a human rights crisis, but also an economic disaster. Women represent nearly half of Afghanistan's potential workforce. By sidelining them, the Taliban are crippling the nation's economic recovery and growth. Experts warn that no country can prosper while excluding half its population from contributing to society. The implications are dire, not just for Afghan women, but for the country's future.
Just taking only the economic aspects also, when you are not utilizing 50% of the capacity of your workforce, that means obviously the manner in which you'll be able to evolve and the manner in which you'll be able to develop will be very suboptimal. I think if you look around the world, no country in the world has been able to develop and grow and prosperous without using the women power that is available to them, without using the capacity of all women who are available in their workforce. So here, by cloistering all the women in their homes, not allowing them to get out, not allowing them to study, not allowing them to get any skills, I think they are shooting themselves in the foot.
The global community remains largely united in condemning the Taliban's actions. No country has formally recognized their government, yet economic and political engagements with the regime continue. Women's rights activists are calling for stricter international pressure, urging governments and organizations to tie any engagement with Afghanistan to the restorations of women's rights. Without such conditions, Afghan women face an increasingly bleak future.
As the Taliban escalates restrictions, Afghan women face an uncertain and oppressive future. And with that, we come to the end of this week's episode. See you next week. Goodbye and take care.